Hi everybody and welcome back to Life Full of Zest. I don't know about you, but I am definitely in much need of another Pilates for runners class. So that's what we are going to be doing today. This is a 30-minute full body Pilates for runners class that is going to be focusing on the muscular activations as well as mobility flows that runners need. We're going to be starting standing up. At the end of our mats, we're going to get into our roll down position and then walking out our calves. Let's inhale, and on that exhale, slowly tucking in that chin, then head and neck all the way down towards the floor, allowing that spine to stretch out. And inhale and exhale, reach a little bit further. If you have to, you can bend those knees, and deep breath in. And on that exhale, walking your hands to the center of the mat, extending those knees. We're going to inhale, and on that exhale, just walk out those calves. And inhale and exhale. Now pushing both heels into the ground, rotating that tailbone up towards the ceiling and pushing that head between those arms. Allow that back and posterior part of your body to stretch out. And inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale, and slowly bringing right foot to right hand and stacking that vertebra. We're going to lean forward, allowing that hip flexor to stretch out, tucking that pubic bone under your belly, so tilting that pelvis forward and slowly leaning back. We're going to hover that back knee into a static lunge position. Let's take a deep breath in, activating that core, and exhale, lift those knees, arms in front of you. We're going to inhale, and on that exhale, opening that chest towards the right hand side. Inhale, center, making sure you've got a beautiful 90-degree angle in your front knee as well as your back knee. And we're doing 5 of these, feeling that activation into your quads as well as into your core while maintaining a good mobility into your back and spine. And slowly back down, dropping that knee, lifting arms up towards the ceiling, allowing that hip flexor to stretch out, and slowly coming down, bringing that foot behind you, bringing that left foot next to your left hand, stacking that vertebra, activating and engaging that core, opening that chest, and slowly leaning forward, allowing that hip flexor to stretch out. And deep breath in, and on that exhale, hovering that back knee off the floor, arms in front of you. And now we're going to rotate towards the left hand side. Inhale, exhale, open those shoulders while you're keeping those hips facing forward. And exhale, rotate, and slowly back, and rotate. We've got 2 more. You're rotating from the center of your spine, making sure that you're maintaining good posture. And last one, and slowly back and dropping down, extending arms up towards the ceiling and leaning forward. And inhale and exhale, slowly coming back down, bringing your hands onto an all fours position, bringing your left foot back behind you. You're slowly going to lift your hips back up towards the ceiling, keeping those heels off the ground, bringing your head through your arms, allowing those shoulders to stretch out. Keep holding, and inhale and exhale, slowly walking your hands to the end of that mat. We're going to stay in this front support position for 10 seconds. Take a note of the positioning of my heels just above my toes, and my shoulders are away from my ears. You are sucking that belly to spine, and let's hold. Deep breath. Try and engage and activate that core. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly dropping those knees down and leaning back. into rest position, pushing those shoulders into the ground. And inhale and exhale. We're going to get back up into that front support position, that extended plank position. Let's inhale, and on that exhale, extend right leg, then left leg, keeping activated, sucking that belly to spine. We're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we're bringing right foot in, and we're going to hold, making sure that we're maintaining that crisp posture. Keep holding, and let's go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extending right leg, bending left leg, and holding. Deep breaths, making sure that you're engaging even your lower scap muscles, you're engaging that core. And let's go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And extending. Inhale, exhale, slowly lowering your chest down towards the floor for 10. Activating your glutes and core. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lifting straight up into rest position. And slowly walking your hands towards that left hand side, pushing those ribs and opening them up to stretch out. And slowly walking towards the other side, opening those ribs to stretch out. And back to center. We're going to get back into that front support. Hope you're all managing. Just make sure that if you are getting tired, to rest in between. Make sure you're activating correctly. Remember, quality over quantity. Let's take a deep breath in, and on that exhale, extend right foot and then left foot. Keeping that core tight, we're going to bring that right foot in towards our wrists. But now, while we're maintaining that alignment of shoulders and hips, we are opening that knee. We're doing an external rotation of that knee to activate that glute. That's 2 and 3 and 4. Keep going. And 5 and 6. And we're going to lift and hold for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly down, extending right leg, bending left leg. Inhale, exhale, rotate that knee sideways. That's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. And staying in the air for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly coming down, extending and going straight back into rest position. We're going to lift our hips back up towards the ceiling and slowly walking our hands back towards our feet, trying to maintain that extended knee position. Slowly rolling up one vertebra at a time into a standing position. Well done. Let's walk to the center of the mat. We're going to start on the leg that you feel stronger. I'm going to start on my left leg. We're lengthening that spine. We're going to balance and lift that other leg off the floor. And we're slowly going to extend that leg behind us. And as we're extending that leg, we're extending those arms. Imagine like you're reaching towards the wall in front of you, and you're trying to maintain a good parallel positioning of your arms and legs to the floor. And using that core while stabilizing with your glutes, you're slowly going to come back up into high knee, making sure you're not bracing with your toes, keeping those arches of those feet nice and lifted. Inhale, exhale, reaching forward, stabilizing with those ankles. And inhale, exhale, back into high knee. That's 2. We're doing 5 of these, maintaining that posture, reaching forward and using all your muscles. You should feel the activation in all the parts of your body as you lift that knee, using your core as you're reaching forward, stabilizing with your glutes of the stabilizing leg. And we've got 1 more after this. And slowly reaching forward. From here, keeping that leg where it is, keeping that back hinged, core tight. You want to maintain that posture in that upper back, bringing arms in front of you. You're slowly leaning forward towards the floor in front of you. And you're using your hamstrings and glutes to pull yourself back up into that high knee with T position. If you're feeling like you need a rest, you can slowly rest for a bit and jump back in when you need to. Back straight, leading through that heel, back up. And we're doing 4 of these. And reaching forward all the way down, using your core, pulling back up. 1 more into T position. And slowly back down, straightening that leg. And pulling back up. Well done. You should be getting a very deep burn all the way down that calf and almost into that Achilles, also into the glute and that hamstring. We're going to do that same thing with that other leg. Let's just roll out those ankles just to loosen up and get back in. Let's balance on the opposite leg. Deep breath in, exhale, reaching forward, extending those arms and leg and making sure we parallel to the ground. Inhale, exhale, back to T-point. Keeping core tight, scaps going down that back. Exhale, extending forward. And slowly back up. That's 2. And extend. And 3. Inhale, exhale, reach. Keeping that stability, try and focus on one point so that you can try and keep that control and that balance. And this is the last one before we bring ourselves back up and change the movement, extending and slowly bringing arms down towards the floor, leading through that heel, using that glute and back up into T-point. Inhale, exhale, slowly down, bringing arms towards the floor, leading through that heel, back straight, core tight. And 2 more. All the way down, making sure that that knee is maintaining stability. And last one. And then all the way back up. And just rolling out that ankle. We're going to get back down into that extended push-up position. But before we do that, I want to walk out our ankles again, stretching out those calves. Let's roll ourselves down into a roll down, bringing hands to the center of the mat and just walking out those calves for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly walking yourselves into an extended plank position. If you do struggle with that extended plank position, you can have your knees in an all fours position. Let's lift up off the ground. We're going to bring that knee in again. And now we're going to rotate out and extend back in and back in. That's 1. I want you to keep that ankle flexed while you're doing it. And 3, we're doing 6 of these. And extend. 4, 5, and 6. And slowly down, extending right leg, bending left leg. Inhale, exhale, rotate, extend, and back. Try not to compensate by moving that center of mass. You want to maintain it, keeping that posture, activating those necessary muscles. Let's do 2 more. And extend, and back. And last one. And back. And slowly leaning back into rest position. We're going to get back into all fours, and I want you to extend your right foot out towards the wall next to you, rotating that tailbone out, and we're just rocking forward and backwards to stretch out that groin. Allow that body to stretch out, just leaning forward and back. And as you're leaning forward and back, you're rotating that pelvis, pushing the groin into the ground. And last one. And changing over and rotating that tailbone out and pushing that groin into the ground and back and back. And let's do 3 more. And slowly bringing your leg in and turning yourself around into a seated position. Let's extend those legs out in front of us. I want you to flex those toes towards your nose, and I want your ankles to be in line with your hips, to be in line with your shoulders, pushing those knees into the ground, arms in front of you. We're going to inhale, and on that exhale, we're rounding that back and that neck all the way down. Let's pretend like we have a wall just here in front of us, but there's a little gap under it, so we are rolling ourselves down and reaching under that gap and trying to reach as far as we can, keeping those toes flexing towards the nose. And inhale, exhale, going back under that wall and stacking that vertebra. Deep breath in and exhale, rounding that spine and reaching under that wall, pushing forward but not going beyond complete discomfort. Inhale, exhale, slowly coming back. And inhale, exhale, rounding that spine, reaching forward. Now what you're going to do is keeping that chest down. I still want you to keep that angle of your hip, but I want you to try and stack that vertebra, straightening that back and bringing arms towards your ears. And we're going to hold. Keep holding. I want you to feel this in the back and upper part of your scaps. So we're working on our back extensor muscles, but in order to do this, you need to activate that core, neck in neutral. And let's slowly do little pulsations back for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly reaching forward and rolling yourself back up. We're going to do that one more time. Deep breath in. And on that exhale, rounding head, neck, and chest all the way down and reaching forward. Now, lifting that back, bringing arms up towards your ears and holding, keeping that core tight, sucking belly to spine. And let's go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now slowly pulsating those arms backwards, and as we're doing that, we're drawing those shoulder blades down that back. And let's go for the 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly bringing arms to T-point, keeping that angle of those hips, and slowly palms facing the ceiling. We're doing little circles for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms up towards the ceiling, reaching forward, rolling down, and stacking that vertebra. We're going to bring those legs a little bit closer. We're bending those knees, and we are slowly going to roll ourselves down into a lying down position, making sure that you are in the center of that mat. Well done, everyone. I hope you're feeling that burn and that activation. I know runners like to work hard and feel like they're getting a good workout in. Let's get those feet just shorter than 1.5 feet away from those glutes. We're going to inhale, and on that exhale, we are tilting that pelvis, lifting those hips up towards the ceiling, one vertebra at a time, squeezing those glutes, digging those heels into the ground, and inhale, and exhale, lifting those heels off the ground, making sure that those knees are not falling outwards. You're activating those inner thighs, you're activating those glutes, you're activating those calves, and bringing those hands up towards the ceiling. We are slowly going to lift and lower those heels off the ground, and as we lower those heels, we're bringing arms into T-point, and inhale, lift those heels and arms back to center, and that's 1. And as you lift, I want you to really feel that glute activation as you're lifting up towards the ceiling. And 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, 2 more, and 8. And lifting back up, we're just going to keep our hands where they are. We're inhaling, and on that exhale, we're lowering right heel towards the floor, and then lifting, and then dropping left heel towards the floor. That's 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, 7, and 8. Lifting both those heels, lifting and bringing arms overhead and back to center. That's 1. Keep that hip height. Squeeze those glutes. 2, and 3. Keep working. And 4, and 5. 3 more. And 6, 7, and 8. Dropping those heels, bringing hands to side, lifting those hips to slowly roll that pelvis back to the floor. We're going to hug those knees towards the chest just for recovery for a little bit before we progress. I hope you're all feeling that deep activation into those lower glute max muscles and into that upper hamstring. And let's bring our feet back towards the floor, 1.5 feet away from those glutes. We're going to interlace our hands comfortably behind our head, and we're going to inhale, and on that exhale, lifting head, neck, and chest off the ground. Remember to keep that neutral pelvis. If you struggle with back pain, just make sure you're tilting and protecting that lower back. Let's inhale, and on that exhale,
Lift right leg into tabletop, then left leg. Inhale, we're going to do single leg toe tap into straight leg lower, and left leg. That's 2 and 3. Keeping that 90-degree angle, making sure that when we're lowering, we're making sure that we're engaging that core correctly. And we're doing 2 more on each leg. That's 1 and 2. Keep going, working hard and keeping those knees where they are. We're bringing our hands out to our sides, palms facing the ceiling. If you can, we're going to extend those legs, and now we're bringing arms around overhead, then back to center. That's 1. Keep tummy to spine, and 2 and 3. We're doing 6 of these. 4, 5 and 6. And slowly bending those legs and turning those palms towards the floor, pulsating into the ground for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly hugging knees to chest. Let's turn over onto our right hand side. Hope everyone's managing. Last little set. We're going to have our hands on the floor, and I want our fingers facing away from the body. Just remember to have your knees, hips and shoulders all in line with each other. Let's lift those hips off the ground, keeping core tight, making sure you're bringing belly to spine. Let's lift that other leg up towards the ceiling. This upper hand, I want it extended up towards the ceiling as well. We're going to toe tap, and as we toe tap, reaching that hand over and back up into knee tuck. And that's 1, keeping that posture, and 2 into knee tuck, and 3 knee tuck, 4 and last 1. After this, keep working and knee tuck and holding, flexing that ankle, and we're doing little pulsations for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly coming down to do that same thing on the other side. You should be feeling it in your shoulders, in your glutes, in your side. Let's get those hips, knees and shoulders all in line. Let's inhale, and on that exhale, lifting those hips off the ground, bringing arm to T position, extending that other leg. Inhale, exhale, toe tap as that arm reaches back up into knee tuck, and 1 and 2 into knee tuck, and 3. Keep working. Try to lift that leg as much as you can, and 5 and 6, and flexing that ankle, keeping other hand up towards the ceiling. Let's do those pulsations for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly down and turning over onto your back. Let's bring our right ankle onto our left knee, hugging that knee to chest for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and changing over, hugging that knee to chest for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to bring our right knee over our left knee and bring our ankles towards our shoulders. If you can't hold both ankles, just try and grab the one as long as you're getting a deep stretch into your glute muscles. And let's go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and changing over to do that same thing. And another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's bring that right knee into extension. I want you to point your toe towards your nose and hug that knee towards your chest, allowing a burn and stretch down the back of that calf for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to extend that left leg. I want you to rotate your foot so that your big toe is pointing towards you and your baby toe is pointing towards the ceiling. And you're going to lean across midline and still bringing that knee to chest. You should be getting all stretch and burn down this front part of your shin. And let's hold for another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pointing toes towards the ceiling and bringing that knee to chest for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly down. Let's bring that other knee into extension, placing hands behind the back of your knee, pointing toes to nose for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extending that leg, rotating that big toe towards your nose and baby toe towards the ceiling, and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center, pointing those toes towards the ceiling, bringing that knee towards your chest. Try to keep that pelvis on the floor for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly bringing your feet back to the floor, arms in a T position. I want your feet slightly larger than shoulder width apart, and you're just rocking your knees from side to side. And let's do one more on each side. Bringing your feet back to center, toes pointed towards the wall in front of you. Arms up towards the ceiling, palms facing each other. Let's inhale and lowering those arms overhead. We're going to exhale, lifting yourself up into a seated position. Well done, everyone. Thank you for completing it. Another Pilates for runners with me. We went quite hard today, so if you do feel like you need to rest in between, that is okay. We can build that strength. Please make sure that you do never work through pain. If you're feeling tired and over fatigued, then stop, rest, recover, and get straight back into it. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Keep up the good work with all the activations and running. See you soon.